Right, you're welcome back. So the University Teachers Association of Ghana is convening an emergency meeting today to take a decision on government's move to dissolve the University Council of the Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology following recent disturbances. Now, the association is incensed with government over the dissolution of the Governing Council of the Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology. In an interview with JoyNews' Richard Kwejonyako, the national president of the association, Dr. Eric Opoku, says the development is a travesty and tragedy to the teaching and management body of the university.
What has happened in KNUST is unfortunate, and the decision by government to set aside the governing council to establish an interim management committee doesn't sit well with UTAG. Why am I saying this? We say that comments that certain individuals associated with government making all lead to the fact that the Vice Chancellor, there's a plan to remove him ultimately. Be it as it may, I thought that upon the visit of the Minister of Education, there was going to be a support of the current legitimate council to reflect over the issue, and that government will use its clout. Since government has appointed 4 members of that council, one of which is the chairman, that look, this is what has happened. Policy implementation has gone wrong. Could you reflect over this and decide whichever way without us necessarily interfering? No, government decides not to do that. But to set the whole council aside. Meanwhile, apart from the government reps, members of this council are automatic members of the council because of the position they hold. The Vice Chancellor is on the council because he's the Vice Chancellor of the university. UTAG President is on the council because he is the UTAG President. SRC President is on the council because he's he's the SRC President. Now you set this aside and set up a committee. Not going back into the issue, we know very well that the substantive issue, the crisis that KNUST is in, there are mainly 2 parties accusing each other. Management accusing students of misconduct, harassing female students, doing all kinds of things, and therefore security men be tight and do the needful. It went wrong. Some of them went overboard. That is unfortunate. SRC response by the SRC president leading students to go on a mass illegitimate demonstration to cause mayhem on campus, destruction of valuable property.
Why do you describe the demonstration as illegitimate? And they protesting the oppression they say they are suffering?
There are procedures to, through which students, leaders can embark on a demonstration. I don't think that they use those procedures. But to go further, so these are the 2 parties. Now government decides to, and these students are therefore complicit by virtue of what happened that we are all witnessing, and that has led to the closure of the university. Government set up an interim committee and says that the SRC president who led this illegitimate student demonstration to cause mayhem should be on the committee. The Vice Chancellor, on the other hand, who is also being accused of the student, should step aside and not be on the committee. UTAG, which is a union that represents teachers in the university, lecturers, not represented on the committee.
But they say that the Pro-Vice Chancellor is represented on this committee.
The Pro-Vice Chancellor doesn't represent UTAG. The Pro-Vice Chancellor doesn't represent... The university has a legitimate UTAG representative. So if that's what government wants to do, you don't sit down and select and choose the way you want it. It is not fair, and we see what is coming. We see the larger plan that has been hatched.
What larger plan is that?
What I'm telling you is that the plan is that this committee should work. It's like a smoke screen. At the end of the 3 months, they come out with findings, and the Vice Chancellor will find his way out of the university. UTAG is not going to sit down for this to happen. Look, if you take a university, there are 3 major stakeholders: students, faculty, administrators. You don't provide a platform for students, purportedly to provide information as a way of investigating their vice chancellor. In secondary schools in the country, in Ghana, in the history of our secondary schools, students go on demonstration, destroy secondary school property. They say they will not eat dining hall food and all of that. Ghana Education Service doesn't even ask the headmaster to step down. The headmaster, the school always has a legitimate management board, including the headmaster, to look at the issues.
So you say that there is a structure, and there was supposed to have been a structure they should have followed, and not this one?
Exactly. You should give power to the council as enshrined in the act that establishes the university, so that the council should purge itself of what has happened by doing an introspection and coming out. That is the way, so that it doesn't happen like every time something happens in the university, government troops in and say that council set aside, I set up an interim. That is not fair. That doesn't allow for the semi-autonomous status of a university. It doesn't enhances that.
So you feel that, I mean, for UTAG, it is a small screen to ask the Vice Chancellor?
It is. And that is what we see coming. And therefore, UTAG is taking this issue seriously. We are on red now from tonight, and we are going to look at this issue and come out with something tomorrow. There's going to be a nation. We are going to see everything. We are going to get ourselves apprised of every detail that we don't yet know, and we'll take a decision.
Is it a strike you're going to call?
I cannot preempt. The power of the National Executive Committee is beyond me.
So it's close to a strike?
As a national president, I will listen to what they will say, and certainly tomorrow before this time, we will have something for the entire nation.
The indications you are picking from the ground, does it suggest that, I mean, you are all addendum or ready for an action like you suggested?
Ever since I became UTAG president, there is nothing that has brought us together as this issue. There's nothing that has brought us together. I think enough is enough, and I wouldn't explain that.
Eugene Tony Paha is a member of the dissolved KNUST Council. We're able to speak to him now. He joins me via Skype with his take on the issue. Mr. Paha, good morning. Thank you for your time. Can you help us understand, you were a member of the council in what capacity exactly?
Okay, I was representing the Graduate Students Association of KNUST.
Sorry, the line wasn't very clear. You were representing?
Graduate Students Association.
Right, okay, GRASAG.
GRASAG, yeah.
Very well. Okay, now, has there been a replacement? Has someone else from GRASAG been put on the interim council?
No, as it stands now, there's no replacement in the interim council.
Right, okay. Please help us understand, when government came to Kumasi to try and resolve this issue, what was their interaction with the council, which led to the dissolution?
It was more of a students' interaction with the ministerial committee. And then we didn't meet as a council. We met the ministry from the student leadership fund, and then the ministry met the management, university management. They met the regional command.
So what you are saying is that government never met with the council, the old council?
No.
Never?
So no. We met in segments. The university student leadership met with the government ministerial committee. And the ministerial committee also met the management of the university. Then they had a meeting with the apparatus of the Ashanti region.
Right. So tell me, what exactly did you discuss with government when they met with the student leadership? You were in that meeting?
Yeah, I was in the meeting.
Right. Okay. Forgive us. We're trying to fix our audio and our images. So we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we're going to continue our conversation with a member of the dissolved board of KNUST, Council of KNUST. You're welcome back. Now let's continue our conversation with Eugene Tony Paha. He's a member of the dissolved KNUST Council. Mr. Paha, thank you for your patience. So you were explaining to us what happened when student leadership met with the government committee, high-level committee that came to Kumasi following the unrest.
Yes. The meeting we had with the ministerial committee was to have a view of the students' front, what actually happened, what transpired between the students and the management, and what caused the demonstration that very day. So that was the discussion we had with the ministerial.
Okay, so what did they want to know? What questions did they ask? What do you remember of what government was saying?
Yes, they wanted to find out what actually caused the brutalization on campus. Also wanted to find out what caused the demonstration that very day. So the ministerial committee also listened to the student leadership, take the views of what actually happened that very day.
Okay, but did they make any requests or demands? Did they say students must do A, B, or C? Did they say anything at all, or were they simply asking questions? Right. It would appear that we've lost connection to Mr. Paha, but we've already learned a couple of important things. The first thing we've learned is that government did not meet with the council, the university council, at any point. Eugene Paha is a member of the dissolved KNUST council, and he was never called to a council meeting with government. So before dissolving the council, government did not meet with them. And secondly, government met with students and asked questions about what caused the impasse, but did not meet with the council. This is an important detail in our quest to understand government's decision. I think we have Mr. Paha on the line once again. Now, Mr. Paha, just to be clear, when you met with government, it was in your capacity as a student leader, and they asked questions about what caused the unrest, but they didn't make any demands. They didn't instruct the students to do anything, to desist from anything. They didn't have any instruction for student leadership.
No, we didn't have any from the ministerial committee. It was, so, like I said, it was for them to get to know from the students' front what actually transpired, what happened, and caused that demonstration that day.
So what did you tell government about the cause of the demonstration and the destruction?
Okay, basically the demonstration was hosted by the undergraduate students as the SRC president, his parliamentary council. For us as the graduate school, we were only informed as to what happened that very Monday. So we were there as a part of the student leadership to also have our view of how those things started. The whole demonstration was caused by the students not being too comfortable with things happening on campus.
Now,
so that was, yeah.
Now, you are a member of the dissolved council. So what can you tell us about some of the decisions that the students were agitating over? For example, the integration of the single-sex halls, the enforcement of certain rules and regulations regarding what time to come back to the hall, and when the lights go off, and morale and all of those things. Did the dissolved council make these decisions?
Okay, the decisions were made last academic year. As at that time, I was not part of the council. We were integrated into the council.
Forgive us, we're having some technical difficulties there. It's making it a bit difficult to communicate with Mr. Eugene Tony Paha, who is a member of the dissolved KNUST Council. We'll try one more time to get him via Skype. If not, I think we'll connect via phone so that we can hear him clearly, because he has vital information to share on what has led KNUST to this point. So we will reconnect with him either via phone or via Skype shortly so that we can continue. Mr. Paha, can you hear me?
Yes, please.
So you were explaining that you were not a member of the council at the time these decisions were made. But when you joined the council, what did you learn about these decisions?
Yes, when we joined, the council had made a decision to convert the male halls into mixed halls, and subsequently led to the conversion of the all-female hall also to a mixed hall. So that was the information that, as of the time we came on council, was given to us.
Right. And were you the only new member, or were there other new members who joined at the same time as you?
Myself and the SRC president.
Right. Did you ask questions about why that decision, or was GRASAG okay with that decision?
For us as student leadership, what we always want to see is the peace on campus. So if this decision was not actually causing that peace on campus, then definitely as students front would ask questions.
I'm asking what you said to the council when you were informed of this decision. Did you make any comment about it to the council? Did you make a contribution on this issue? Raise objections? Anything?
The decision was already made. It was already passed, and it wasn't something for us to go back. Then, so the time we were on council, we were invited onto the council, students had already petitioned the university on the said issue.
Right.
So talking about it to be kind of contempt of court, because they had to finish with all the procedures and make an input.
What was the Vice Chancellor's position on this? Was he the one pushing that decision? Was he the architect of it, or was it the council that came up with it?
That would be very difficult because it's a management decision. The university management made that decision, presented to council for approval. So once the management has decided that this is the way to go, the council I think.
So what do you make of the government's decision to dissolve your council? What's you and GRASAG's position on that?
I think it's rather because council is made up of representations, and then we're thinking government will look at it. We will let council also have on this whole situation. Then later bring out the reports to government to see how best we can all bring the sanity on campus. For us as GRASAG, once there's no representation on the council, it makes the constituency handicapped. So what we are looking for is that we're looking for an engagement with government to see how best can resolve all these situations. Because as the graduate students also are affected, because now campus, KNUST is shut down, students are in the house. The graduate school, we are now yet to have graduation November. Students are down with the sense of the thesis. So there's a bit of a worrying situation for us, graduate students on campus.
Now, Mr. Paha, at the time government decided to intervene, I mean, before they dissolved the council, at the time they decided to come to Kumasi and intervene, would you say that the council had lost control of the situation?
No, council had not even met. The issue happened on Monday. So we were supposed to have had a meeting to actually look into the whole situation. Only for us to the university council has been dissolved by government and an intern committee. So there's no opportunity for our council to even sit and look at the issue critically. So that is where we have a little challenge, because there was an emergency meeting scheduled for us to look into the situation and see how best to forge ahead. But then the opportunity never came.
When was this emergency meeting scheduled for?
Well, it was scheduled for today.
Today, Friday?
Yeah.
The agitation happened on Monday. So if it's an
Yes.
emergency, why wait 5 days before you meet?
Because as of when the rotation happened, there were a lot of issues. There were a lot of meetings. The security, Ashanti Regional Security Coordinating Council had to meet and take a decision. The regional minister, the education minister, and all the ministerial committee from government came to Kumasi for us to have the meet.
Why would any of
So
that
there was-
stop the council from meeting?
No, but they're all stakeholders in this whole situation. Once the issue happened, that very Monday, the regional minister said he met with the security apparatus, Kumasi, and they instructed the campus to shut it down the next day for them to go, so that we can have the sanity on campus for us to also look at.
I'm trying to understand. I'm trying to understand the process here. There was a demonstration that turned into a riot. People were injured. Property was destroyed. And council felt the need to have an emergency meeting, but you scheduled it for Friday. You had people from RegSec. It had turned into a national security issue. And all of that, but you still felt that you could wait till Friday before you meet?
Yes, basically, I think that's what the whole information was. But then, you see, like I said from the beginning, the council is representations. Members of council are representations. So we need to get all the representations around because this was a critical issue that needed the views of each representation. Council. So we needed to have every stakeholder, every member of council present to have those discussions.
Okay. So my question was whether you had lost control of the situation, and you say you hadn't even had the opportunity to meet, and at the time your council got dissolved. Government never met with the council itself never met. All you are hearing is that you have been dissolved. How was the decision communicated to you?
We saw the communique on the airways, and then that's
on the media. Yes, so they did not communicate with you directly as a council or as individual members?
As individual members, I think. Perhaps it might have gone through council. But as individual members, were notified yesterday evening.
So you learned about it on the media, from the media?
No, officially, our meeting was cancelled. Then we were told that the government has set up a ministerial committee, an interim committee.
But by then you had already heard about it on radio and TV. So yes, you heard about the dissolution of your council from the media.
Yes.
Right. Well, Mr. Paha, I want to say a big thank you for helping us understand some of the issues around this. Let's keep communicating as this matter unfolds. We appreciate your time. Well, interesting revelations there. Eugene Tony Paha, a member of the dissolved KNUST Council, revealing that as a member of the council, he learned of the dissolution from the media. He also says council never had the opportunity to meet after the riots. Government never met with the council before making a decision to dissolve it. Well, we'll continue to learn more as the days unfold. But right now, we'll take a quick break. When we come back, even more on the AM show.